Do you want to go on an exchange year? Because I do too. Hi, I'm Miss. If you don't know me yet, I really want to go on an exchange year, and I've been wanting to go for 3 years. That's why I started this YouTube account to make money. And today, I'm gonna show you my presentation that I made with all the information I gathered over those past 3 years. Because it's a lot of information and it's hard to find sometimes. And I hope I can make it easier for you guys, the new exchange students. So, come watch my presentation with me. So first of all about me. My name is Miss, I'm 16 years old, I'm from Belgium, and I really want to do an exchange year to the US or to Canada. I'm not sure yet, because I would love to go to the US, but I think it would be easier to convince my parents to let me go to Canada because it's safer, but I really want the US high school experience, so I'm not sure yet. My TikTok is miss.in.america2 because my first account with almost 1k followers got blocked. And yeah, my YouTube you're watching on my YouTube right now is miss.in.america with a 4. What I mean to do this video is to guide you guys through the whole information. Next slide. So what am I going to talk about? First of all, I'm going to tell you about why you need to go on an exchange year, because that's the first thing you need to think about when you start having these thoughts. I would really love to go abroad for a year. You really need to think it through, because, well, it's not just something little. It's bigger than buying a pair of shoes. It's really a year of your life, or even a semester of your life away. A lot of money, a lot of crying, even because you're going to miss people. It's a big step, so you really need to think it through. Why do I want to do this? Why would I have to do this? Then I'm also going to tell you about which organizations you can go with. I'm from Belgium, so that may be different for different people, but I'm going to tell you from my perspective. Most of my fans are from Belgium though, so for most of you guys it will be clear. The price, that's also different from organization to organization, and for me that really matters a lot. When and who can go, so like how old do you need to be, how old can you be maximum, can you go after you graduated, because that's also depending. Where, well, that's more a personal question, but I'm also going to tell you a little about that. How to convince your parents to let you go, that's really tough, but it's something, that has to be done. It's like one of the first steps actually. And then host families, how is it going to be like to be in a host family? And then high schools, what are you going to do about your high school life here, and how is your high school life going to be there? So why would you need to go on an exchange year? Well, there are tons of reasons. I'm just going to talk about 5 reasons, the 5 most common reasons, but I feel like they're the most common because they're the most important. First of all, it will build your self-confidence and just also improve your natural skills to talk to people. You will be more carefree in a day-to-day life because you will have to start from brand new. You'll have to talk about yourself to get to know everybody. But like everybody, not even your home is your safe place because you're in a house with brand new people. So for the introverts, this is going to be a real culture shock. Then, language. I really want to go to America. I'm from Belgium, I speak Flemish, and I think my English is pretty good already, but it will only improve, and my grammar mostly will improve too. Then, friendships. You will really learn how to build friendships and how to make strong friendships. Because I think on an exchange year, you will really be able to tell the difference about good friendships and friendships that are like, I'm not going to tell them my deepest, darkest secrets. Then culture. You will get to know a lot of things, or actually almost everything, about the culture in the country you are staying in. Because even if you're going to the country that's beside of yours, it's going to be a very different culture. and it must be really fun to get to know everything about that. And then childhood dream. That's the biggest reason I want to go. Not to learn the language, not, well, actually a little to learn the culture, but it's mostly because it's a childhood dream of mine. If you watched shows or movies growing up, most of the times they were English, and like people would talk them in a new language. But you see those high schools and then you go to high school yourself and it's really disappointing actually. I mean, I've learned to like it, but like it's nothing like it was in the movies, so that's pretty disappointing. Which organizations do we go with? You have tons of different organizations. I'm going to talk about 7 of them. First of all, you have WEB. That's a Belgian organization. And you have multiple different programs you can do, but I'm really talking about high school exchange only. So if something else you're willing to do, then this part probably won't be for you. You can go classical, classical plus, flex, or flex plus. Classical is just a normal exchange program, but if you do plus, you can choose where you're going. But you're not going to be 100% sure, because that's like you pay for it and you pay $1,000 more, and with those $1,000 more, you pay to go to New York, but you're not sure if you're going to New York. So if you get a placement that's not New York, you get those thousands of dollars back. But yeah, I think if I would go to with web, I would just pick classical, because for me it wouldn't be worth spending $2,000 or $1,000 to go to a specific location. So yeah, then you also have flex. That's a bit different because you can choose the more you want. The classical is the cheapest program, and that's around 11,000 for a semester and 13,000 for an entire year. But you can go the year after you graduated in Belgium. So the maximum age you can be when you leave is 18 and a half. Then throu. That's a non-profit exchange program. It's really good. I've heard so many good things about it, but if you really want to go to the US or you really want to go to a specific country, I wouldn't go with throu because you're not sure where you're going. You can pick your top 5 countries and then they'll put you in one of them if you're lucky, but most of the time you'll get one of your top 5, but you're not sure you're getting your top 1. So that's why I won't go with throu, because it is really important to me that I go to America or to at least Canada. Then STS, most of these are just like web, so I'm not going to really explain further about them, but it's also that you can see which programs you can use. So STS, IFU and AFS are pretty much the same. I'm going to talk about AF and about NWSE though. AF is an organization which, if you're from Belgium, I wouldn't go with AF, not because it's a bad organization, no, it's actually really good, but if you're not from the Netherlands, it's different than you think. You don't have the real exchange lifestyle, but you will get put in the AF schools, so there will be a cheerleading team and everything, but it will be different because it's not real high school. It's a high school filled with exchange students. So if you really want a true experience, I wouldn't go with that. But you can pick the program that you have in the Netherlands, but I think it's really hard to get to know that, so I wouldn't do that. It's also one that and AFS are the that and AFS that costs more than web and everything, so I wouldn't pick AF, but it's a really trusted and a really good exchange program, and I really want to go on a language vacation with them, so I'm not saying it's a bad program at all. Heard plenty of good things about it. And then NWSE is also a non-profit organization. throu and that are the cheapest ones on the list, and it's an organization that's made from in the US itself. So yeah, it's only to go to the US. I think that's the organization that I will go with. The prices. Well, the cheapest one will be Rotary because you can choose the least things and it's a non-profit organization, and it's around 3 to 6K that you'll have to pay. Then you have NVS, that's around 9K, but with both of those you'll have to pay for your flight, so that can add another 100K another 100K. And to all the organizations, you need to pay for your visa, you need to pay for insurance, and well, yeah, the things you spend there on an exchange year, you will spend more money than you do at home, because those aren't your real parents, they're only your exchange parents. They won't pay for everything. Most sites say an exchange student spends around 200 to 300 euros or dollars a month. So that's also something you need to save up for, because when I go to America, I also want to be able to buy souvenirs and to buy clothes and to do fun things there without thinking, shit, this is expensive. Then STS is around 11K, IFU is 12 to 14K, FAS, then WEB is 12 to 14K, IFU is around the same, AFS is 15K or something, 15K or a little more, and AF is the same as that. So you can see those are the cheaper ones than those. So you can see those are the most expensive ones. Then, who and when can you go? Who can go? Most programs are from 14 to 18, some from 15 to 18, some from 14, 15 to 18 and a half. That's really depending on which program you go with. Most of them you can go after you graduated though, like with WEB, with NVS, and with AFS, but sometimes you can't. Not with those programs, but with other organizations. So with AF, Rotary, IFU, and STS, I would really ask them again, because not everybody can go after they graduated, and I think I will go after I graduated high school here, so that's really important for me too. Then, the best exchange countries. I made a list of the 10 most famous exchange countries, so I'm not saying those are the best, but I'm saying those are the countries most people choose. First of all, I think everybody would know is the US. It's just to get the movie experience, and that's actually why I want to do it. Then you have Canada, because they are really alike, and Canada is safer than the US. And you have Australia. I also was thinking about going to Australia for a long time, because well, yeah, it looks kind of cool. Then Germany, because it's for a lot of people, it's a whole different culture, but like really a whole different culture, so not just a little different. Then Spain, it's warm, it's sunny, why wouldn't you want to go to there? Then Japan, to go to Asia, seems really cool. France, most people then choose for the south of France or for Paris. New Zealand is also really famous. Korea, because of K-pop, K-pop idols, K-pop music, K-drama, all those things. And then to Italy to have the good food, and also if you're from America or something, it will be a total culture shock. How to convince your parents. So there are multiple categories you can convince your parents in. First of all, the reasons you want to go. So it's to build character, to learn the language, to get confidence, and to learn everything about the culture. But not only that, the real words. So like, it's cost a lot of money, you'll be far away, how will we talk to you? That's things you need to talk about clearly. So I would say go get a part-time job. That's what I'm doing as well. Save up. Don't just spend all your money. No, save up to help paying for your exchange year. Make clear rules about when you're gonna call, how you're gonna communicate. Listen to their worries and concerns, because if you won't listen to them, then they probably won't let you go. Be nice and get good grades, because well, yeah, they're letting their child go off to a brand new country to have a life of their own. So, I mean, show a little respect to them, guys. Then host families. All host families volunteer to take care of you. So they won't be paying everything for you because you are there for free. They're not getting money for having you live there. They're also just wanting to fulfill your dream. So yeah, they don't get paid. They get picked for you. You need to fill out a whole form, and they also need to fill out a whole form. And then your organization will see which family is most compatible to you, and then they can say if they want you or not. Rules. You really need to talk about the rules clearly because, well, yeah, you don't want to have a fight with your host parents. You don't want to have a fight with your host family. It's really important that you have a good bond with them. Then, siblings. Not every host family has siblings. Some also have a double placement, so you're gonna be there with a different exchange student. I would really like that, so you can like share your experiences. But sometimes you won't have that, but you'll have a sibling or something. But you also need to settle for knowing you can't be an only child in that country. Because, well, yeah, it's not really up to you. You can say, I would prefer to have siblings, but you're not sure you're gonna get them. It's not gonna be exactly how you want it to be, and it's different for everybody. So you can't compare your host family to host families you see online. But if you have a bad host family, you can always contact your organization and they will try to do everything so you feel comfortable, even if that means going to a different host family. Some organizations actually require going to different host families. I know this girl that went with Rotary, and she had to move host families 3 times, and then 3 times across the country. So 3 times she had to start her life again. So yeah, all host families are different, and you have to communicate. And then high school, well, that's depending on which country you go. Your high school here, you'll have to say goodbye to your friends, to the teachers you know, to everybody, but you'll get over it. If you're going while you're still in high school, you also need to get permission from your school, but most of the time you do just get that. But you can also go after you graduated, because then you can still graduate with your friends and spend all of your years in their class, which is really fun. And the high school you're going to, you just really have to join clubs to get to know people, be social, and that's how you'll make it the best life. So yeah, here you can see pictures of in America. But yeah, it will be different than your high school you're in right now. But that's also the reason you're going away. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I really enjoyed doing this because it made me do research again, and it made me really think about how much I really want to do this, how much effort I put into this. So if you want to do this as much as me, go look it up, go tell your parents, and go follow me so you can make a girl's dream come true. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope I helped you. Bye, see you next time.